You assume we want to be heard.
Everything
Yours
looks
is a
good.
fake green.
Exactly.
Nicole, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Is this Chris?
Thank you. Yes, it is.
Okay, wonderful. Welcome to the meeting. We'll get started here in just a moment.
Okay, thank you.
Great. Okay, good evening. Welcome to the Tuesday, April 6, 2021 Urbandale City Council meeting. I'll call the meeting to order. Ask the clerk to take roll call, please.
Carberry Montgomery,
Here.
Caduce,
Here.
Obrecht,
Here?
Hoagie,
Here.
Russell.
Here.
All right, thank you. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Urbandale is a national leader in character counts, endeavoring at all times to promote and model the principles of trustworthiness, respect, responsibility, fairness, caring, and citizenship. In conducting tonight's meeting, we expect that all participants act in a respectful manner consistent with these principles. Item 2 is approve the agenda. I'll ask for a motion in a second.
Move to approve the agenda?
Second. Russell.
Motion by Obrecht, second by Pogie. Discussion, please vote. That passes. All right, item 3 is a special presentation for the All Urbandale Reads Proclamation, and it's that time of year for the special All Urbandale Reads, and I'm going to read a proclamation, and I'll present that to Nicholas and Laura here shortly. Whereas the City of Urbandale and the Urbandale Public Library recognize the importance of forging connections with local residents, and whereas one book, one community programs like All Urbandale Reads have unified cities across the United States. And whereas the Urbandale Public Library has selected, here we go, When the Emperor Was Divine by Julia Otsuka, a powerful story about identity, survival, and courage as the 2021 All Urbandale Reads book. And whereas the culmination of the 2021 All Urbandale Reads program will feature community book discussions, educational programs, and special events designed to bring residents together through literacy and strengthen bonds within our community. Now, therefore, I, Robert Andeweg, Mayor of the City of Urbandale, on behalf of the Urbandale City Council and the Urbandale Public Library, do hereby promote the All Urbandale Reads program and the reading of this excellent book to all Urbandale residents. I'm going to present this to our library director, Nicholas Janning, and to our library manager, Laura Sauser, as soon as I put my mask on. So I'll come over there and present the proclamation. To speak for a little bit.
Thank you, Mayor. Council members, we're really excited. This is the 4th year of the All Urbandale Reads program, and we're really excited about When the Emperor Was Divine. We had a lot of great candidates that the committee reviewed, and this is the clear winner among all of them. It's a book about historical fiction. We have 4 individuals that are having some experiences in a Japanese internment camp in World War II in the Utah desert, and it follows them through their experiences throughout the war. We're really excited about this book. We think this is a great opportunity for all of the citizens of Urbandale to come together to read the same book, and then also to promote reading and literacy. Laura will be coming up with a lot of great events throughout the coming year, so we encourage everyone to read our library newsletter, watch our calendar for those events that are coming up. And we're really excited about this book, and we have plenty of copies over at the library, so we'd welcome everyone over there. Check out a copy of the book, and then we also have lots of great other items on our shelves. So thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much. Everybody to get to the library and get their books and start reading. All right, item 4 is this is Citizens Forum, the opportunity to address the council on something that's not a part of tonight's regular agenda, and I do know we have someone on the phone. Chris Halston wanted to speak about an issue regarding trees. Chris, I will recognize you at this time.
Okay, thank you very much. First, I'd like to thank you, Mayor Andeweg, and council members for allowing me to speak this evening, and Nicole for her help. I submitted an email with photos of the trees and a brief comment yesterday. I ask you to please consider creating a city ordinance that will protect Urbandale citizens and their property from hazardous trees, much like the city code that was formed by the West Des Moines City Council. My neighbor's trees have dropped 2 limbs that created holes in our garage roof, and a few years ago, a limb just barely missed me. I had gone in the house after cleaning the grill in the driveway when the limb came down and landed on the grill and destroyed it. There are 5 dead trees in their backyard. We've asked them more than once to please remove the trees before someone gets hurt or killed, and I'm afraid for my grandchildren to even come over and play in the driveway. There's a tree on our street at 7126 Airline that was split in half last August by the derecho. It tore down utility lines and the top of the telephone pole. The remaining tree half stands hollow, dead, with branches hanging over the sidewalk and street. Please protect Urbandale citizens, their children, and their property by forming a nuisance tree ordinance that will require property owners to remove all dead, diseased, or insect-ridden trees. If the notice to remove the trees is ignored, the city would remove the trees at the owner's expense. If you could see these trees next door, I know you wouldn't want them in your neighbor's yard either. So if you don't have any questions, I'll say thank you very much for your time.
All right, thank you, Chris.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions from the council for Chris? And I did see the pictures, Chris, and be honest, I figured we would have had this covered, but I'll just ask Steve or Bob, we don't have anything existing on the books that would cover a diseased tree? Would the general nuisance ordinance cover this or not?
Mr. Mayor, members of the council, we do have in chapter 154, which is our property maintenance code, sub M, dead or diseased trees, which may lead to the spread of disease or other specimens. So we do kind of cover what Ms. Hallstrom's talking about.
Okay.
And Steve and I have talked a little bit about it, and we'll certainly look into it. But we do have something. Okay. And if she could leave us, or maybe Nicole has her name and address, so we can follow up with her, we'd be glad to do that.
Okay. Ms. Hallstrom, I don't know if you're still on the line, or did you hear what our city attorney said?
Yes, I'm very anxious to look that up and see what that chapter 154 says.
Yep. So
and I thank you very much.
It's in our existing code if you have the opportunity to look that up, or else we'll have Nicole email that to you.
Okay, I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you.
And I'll hang up now, okay?
Okay, all right, thank you.
All right, thanks. Goodbye.
Bye. We are still on Citizens Forum. This is the opportunity, again, to address the council. Is there anyone else that's online that would like to address the council? If you are on the WebEx, you can simply unmute yourself and recognize yourself. If you're on the phone, just hit *6 to unmute yourself, and I'll recognize you that way. Okay, hearing none, then we will move on. Item 5 is the adoption of the minutes. First, it would be the March 23 meeting. Ask for a motion in a second.
So moved.
Motion by Carberry Montgomery.
Second.
Second by Caduce. Discussion. Please vote. That passes. Item 6 is the consent agenda. 5 items for approval.
Move approval.
Motion by Pogge.
Second.
Second by Russell. Discussion. Please vote. Okay, that passes. Item 7 is public hearings. First is item 7.1, a public hearing and consideration of bids for the 128th Street sidewalk improvements from Airline Drive to Airline Drive. Public notice for this was published in the March 26, 2021 Des Moines Register, and ask any of their objections to the notices published.
There were none.
Okay, ask for a motion and a second to open the public hearing.
So moved.
Motion by Pogge, second by Obrecht. Discussion, please vote. see who is it.
Councilmember Carberry Montgomery, I'll have you resubmit. I don't think it went through for me. Perfect, thank you.
All right, that passes. To introduce the items, our Director of Engineering and Public Works, John Larson. John?
All right, think I got everything there. Thank you, Mayor, members of the council. This is our bid tabulation for our 128th Street Sidewalk Improvement Program, Airline Avenue, Meredith Drive. We've kind of talked about this one a few times through the public hearing process on the assessment, but it was on March 31st. We received 7 bids on the project. The low bid was from Pillar Inc. in the amount of $86,765.48. That low bid was approximately $13,000 or 13% less than the engineer's estimate of just under $100,000. The project will include 1,550 square yards of PCC sidewalk, and we anticipate the project being completed by September 24th. Here's the assessment plat that we'd shown before, just a quick show where the areas are. We've got Meredith here on the right, 128th Street through the middle. So we've got 2 parcels on the east side of 128th Street, just south of Meredith Drive. And then with Aurora Avenue here, we have another segment that's on the west side of 128th Street, just south of Aurora. Then along 142nd Street, there's a piece that's next to the city park. So we do have 4 properties being assessed. 1 is owned by the city. We're assessing for the 5 feet of the sidewalk, and our preliminary estimate was $55 per square yard. The bids came in at $47.51 a square yard, or a 13.6% reduction. We do not have any deficiencies on this project. And with that, I'd be glad to answer any questions.
All right, thank you, John. Any questions from the council for John? All right, this matter is in public hearing. Is there anyone on the meeting tonight that would like to address the council on this item? Again, please unmute yourself and recognize yourself. All right, hearing none, I'll ask for a motion and a second to close the public hearing.
Move to close the public hearing.
Motion by Obrecht, second by Caduce. Discussion, please vote. Okay, that passes. I have 3 items for consideration.
Move to approve resolution 118-2021.
Motion by Obrecht,
Second.
second by Carberry Montgomery. Discussion, please vote. That passes.
Move to approve resolution 119-2021.
Motion by Obrecht,
Second.
second by Carberry Montgomery. Discussion, please vote. That passes.
And then move to approve resolution 120-2021.
Motion by Obrecht,
Second.
second by Carberry Montgomery. Discussion, please vote. And that passes. Item 7.2 is a public hearing and consideration of bids for the Douglas Avenue Urbanization from North Walnut Creek to 100th Street. The public notice for this was published also in the March 26, 2021. And ask there any objections to that notice is published.
There were none.
Ask for a motion and a second to open the public hearing. Motion by Caduce, second by Carberry Montgomery. Discussion, please vote. All right, that passes. John?
Okay, there we go. So yeah, this is our bid tabulation for our Douglas Urbanization project from North Walnut Creek to 100th Street. On April 1st, we did receive 5 bids on the project. The low bid was from Riley Construction Company in the amount of $5,388,069. The low bid unfortunately was $283,000 or 5.6% more than our engineer's estimate of roughly $5.1 million. Fortunately though, on this one, we do have quite a bit of storm sewer on the project and have additional funding available from the stormwater utility to cover that overage. We're anticipating the project would be completed by November 24th. Just a little bit about the project. And we have 34,000 cubic yards of import to fill in the ditches to urbanize it. Just for a point of reference, that's almost 10,000 more than what we're doing on the Waterford Road project. So there is quite a bit of fill being brought in. We have 6,200 linear feet of storm sewer, and we have almost 12,000 feet of curb and gutter being installed. 3,600 tons of asphalt that'll be in a combination of the new complete streets cross-section and overlaying the westbound lanes on Douglas. And then 4,000 square yards of street patching and then modifications to the traffic signal. And also just kind of wanted to note that with these type projects where we have the complete streets cross-section, we'll be looking for the city to do the snow plowing and the routine maintenance on our combination sidewalk and separated bike lanes that'll be on the north side of Douglas Avenue with this project. So just to kind of show you a little bit about the project here. The red lines are the line where we're adding the curb and gutter onto the street. The purple lines are our new storm sewer. On the south side, you can see the white 5-foot sidewalk that comes along the south side. And then on the north side is where we've got our separated bike lanes, where we've got the white is the concrete sidewalk, and then the 10-foot asphalt trail next to it. So we move a little bit further to the east. We're doing some additional work at the Mary Lynn intersection. It's kind of maybe hard to see on here, but we're going to have offset left turn lanes. What that actually does is makes your turning radius shorter and also kind of separates you so it's easier to see the oncoming traffic. So we're doing that safety improvement there. The piece of street between the two Monroe courts is in pretty bad shape, so we'll end up replacing that section of pavement. And then over time, for some reason, there was never a left turn lane constructed to turn on to 92nd, so we'll be adding that left turn lane at this time. And I know there's a lot of conversations or discussions related to our typical section and the complete streets. Just to kind of run through what we're building is we'll have 12 inches of subgrade preparation. That's the same kind of preparation underneath the structure that we do on our streets. And then we will have a 10-foot wide asphalt trail that'll be 6 inches thick. And right next to that will be a 5-foot wide concrete 6-inch thick sidewalk. And just to kind of show, I pulled some different examples of where this has been constructed. For instance, this one here is actually in our complete streets master plan that we completed, but it does show the concrete sidewalk next to the asphalt. Here's just another example. Granted, this sidewalk's a little wider than what ours will be constructed, but just another example where it's been built. Here's just another one again showing the asphalt and the concrete next to each other. And I just kind of put this one in here even to show that this one was constructed with a bit more of a joint in between, but they've sealed that joint in between the two different surfaces. And then I wanted to show one I found that's been around for a while, as you can see from all the grass and the different joints, but don't know how old this one is, but it definitely looks like it still functions well, is being used by just even the number of people you can see in the picture on here. And then with that, I'd be glad to answer any questions.
John, the bike path. I've been reading on the neighborhood site, the last couple of days, and maybe some of you have too, about whether or not the bike trail is exclusively for bicyclists. It seems that the people who are walking their dogs are walking as pedestrians, and there seems to be some sort of conflict that can occur from time to time. So my question is, back to the photograph that you just showed us, is that, go back, I think one more. Is that bike path going to be exclusively for bikes, or could somebody push a stroller down there and walk their dog down there as well?
It's intended for the bicycle use, but there's no real enforcement with that. So I think it's like anything else. If you're on the 10-foot trail or we're on our 10-foot and our 5-foot, you still have to take safety into account. You know, you've got to watch if there happens to be slow-moving bikes, you know, you got to take that into account and be careful. You know, I think being this wide, there will be times you might have mom with a stroller and a bike taking up a good portion of it, and people just have to watch. Because again, there's really no policing mechanism. It's just encouraged that that's for the bicycles, and we keep, you know, the walkers on the sidewalk, right? I still think there'll be times they'll intermingle.
And you showed multiple different painting designs.
Yep.
So we've talked about the surface, but
Correct.
what the painting lines, are we gonna, yellow lines, white lines, no painting?
Yep, we'll have the yellow skip dash on ours that'll separate the two-way traffic on the asphalt.
Is that what we're doing on Waterford as well? They'll be
Correct.
similar or the same, I guess?
Yep.
And then on the storm sewer, how heavy of a rain is it designed to handle?
It's for a 10-year storm.
Which is 2 inches an hour? What's the, off the top of your head?
Yeah.
Do you remember?
Exact, but I would say a 10-year storm, even though it's supposed to be one they say happens once every 10 years, that's probably the more prevalent one we receive each year is somewhere between a 5 and a 10-year storm. So the SUDAS design standards are to account for a 10-year storm, and anything greater than that is for overland.
Okay.
Well, I just wanted to thank John and AJ for really working to get this project, all the questions asked and answered. I think the Complete Streets, which was approved before my time on the council, was a great concept. And now that we're actually implementing it, there was a lot of questions that needed to be answered. And I feel confident that we worked through a lot of those issues with this as our test case. So I'm hopeful that we'll have smoother sailing. Not that this wasn't smooth, but easier time as we continue to implement these now that we've thought through some of the things like snow removal and issues such as those. So thank you very much for the time and energy that was put into those, resolving those issues.
All right. We are still in public hearing on this item. Is there anyone on the meeting that would like to address the council on this item? Okay, hearing none, I'll ask for a motion and a second to close the public hearing. Motion by Caduce.
Second.
Second by Carberry Montgomery. Discussion, please vote. Okay, that passes. We have 3 items for consideration.
I'll move resolution 122-2021.
Okay, motion by Caduce.
Second.
Second by Russell. Discussion, please vote. That passes.
And I'll move resolution 123-2021.
Okay.
Second as well.
Motion by Caduce, second by Russell. Discussion, please vote. Okay, that passes.
And I'll move resolution 124-2021.
And second.
Okay, motion by Caduce, second by Russell. Discussion, please vote. All right, thank you. That passes. I just want to mention, first of all, I want to thank the support of the council for this. I think this section especially is a very significant part of our Douglas urbanization, and it's a long time coming. And you know, as we've talked all along, Douglas is our main street of our city, and that's the recognition of urbanizing this and bringing it up to current standards. So I think it's another significant step toward accomplish that. And as Bridget discussed and alluded to on the complete streets, it's a significant portion of that. And the complete streets component of this is, you know, certainly is something I think is long overdue in our city, and it's going to be new. But we certainly had some wrinkles to go through, and we still will as we move along. But I think it goes on to the step of providing safer access for all forms of transportation, which I think is sorely needed. So I appreciate everybody's support on that. All right, we'll move on to item 7.3 is the public hearing for the amendment number 3 to the amended and restated Northwest Market Center Urban Renewal Plan. And the public notice for this was published in the March 19, 2021 Des Moines Register. Ask any objections to that notice is published.
There were none.
Ask for a motion and a second to open this public hearing.
So moved.
Motion by Carberry Montgomery.
Second.
Second by Pogge. Discussion, please vote. All right, thank you. That passes. AJ, I'll turn it over to you.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, members of council. The public hearing tonight is for amendment number 3 to the amended and, pardon me, and restated Northwest Market Center Urban Renewal Plan. First established in 2000, the Northwest Market Urban Renewal Plan outlined a geographic district and plan for which the tax increment financing base could be established and those funds captured for public-based projects. There is a requirement every time that there is a significant amendment or change in that plan that the original plan has to be amended. As I mentioned, it was first adopted in 2000 and has been amended twice before, first in 2012 and then in 2014. This third amendment is required due to the modification to the capital improvements program, which outlines those projects which will be conducted or undertaken within the Northwest Market District. And so when you have significant alterations in capital programs or any type of tax rebate program or tax utilization program utilizing those TIF funds, you have to make those amendments. And so for us, the primary issue now is the adoption of your capital improvements plan for the next 5 years, which outlines the projects that will be taken not only throughout the city, but in the Northwest Market District, and updated bond issuances as well. So this is more of a procedural issue. The geographic boundaries of the district have not changed, but it really is just more of a housekeeping matter that we're required to do once we make those updates. I'd be happy to answer any questions that you may have.
All right, thanks, AJ. Any questions for AJ?
AJ, in reading the information that came out, I think Friday, from the Iowa League of Cities related to the tax, I think it's the tax, omnibus tax bill, there's some TIF changes in there. Do you know if it talked about slum and blight and changing the number of years, I think. I don't know, TIF is
I'd have to go back and take a look at
something
that
I
more in depth.
struggle with a little bit sometimes, but I don't know if you,
I was going to say, if Curtis Brown is listening, could you please jump in? Because I know that he has been following this closer than I have. I don't believe it's going to affect our current TIF, but I'll have to defer to him. Curtis, are you available?
Yep, I sure am.
Thank you.
you were like.
We are watching this through the professional developers of Iowa. It could make changes going forward. What I will do, AJ, is get the most recent report from our lobbyist and put together a short summary that we can share with the council. It'll probably take a call to the league or to our PDI lobbyists as well, but we'll get that done tomorrow.
Right. Thank you, Curtis. I know we have been following it. We've submitted our objections to any particular substantive changes to all of our legislative representatives. But the TIF legislation always seems to come up every legislative year, typically in the form of making it a more restrictive document for cities to use, or tool, I should say. But I think as Curtis mentioned, as I remember reading it right, this would be moving forward. So I don't believe it's going to affect our current TIFs in place. But as Curtis mentioned, we'll get you a full report as to what we know today.
Thank you.
So I guess a question on this TIF area of 2000 is kind of the base year, I'm guessing.
That is correct. That's when it was established.
Do the property valuations ever get released along the way to the other taxing entities, or only if we vacate the TIF?
Each year,
I mean, we get 50% back, but I didn't know if there was ever everything is reset, only the value above 2010 or 2020 gets brought into the TIF. I don't think so, but I was just curious.
if I understand your question correctly, then no, it doesn't. I said, once the base is established, regardless of the time, so in this one it was 2000, that base remains stagnant or steady for the life of the TIF.
Okay.
And I want to say maybe it was in 2010, or might have been in 12, when we amended it to add the blight language that allowed us to purchase the former lumber company on 94th and Hickman, where we converted to our storage for the Public Works facility and eventually are in the process of rebuilding. But that is really the only significant change we've made. Each year, by the 1st of December, we're to certify our TIF budget to the county auditor so they know how much to take away from that district. Typically, we are at that 50%. We have gone up and down a little bit, but nothing significant. I will say that we're nearing a point where we're running out of significant projects in that district, that we've tackled a significant amount of them since 2000. So we'll continue to monitor that as we move forward. But we can only claim what we have debt for. So therein lies the problem. If we don't have a lot of projects, then it does go back to the taxing entities.
Okay.
All right, any further questions or discussion? All right, this item is a public hearing. Is there anyone on the meeting that would like to address the council on this item? Okay, hearing none, I'll ask for a motion and a second to close the public hearing.
So moved.
Motion by Carberry Montgomery,
Second.
second by Poggi. Discussion, please vote. That item passes. Item 8, establish public hearings versus item 8.1 to establish a public hearing for the Fisher Property Planned Unit Development District case at 170th Street and Meredith Drive. What?
We just closed the public
Oh,
hearing.
I'm sorry. I would pass the motion on the item. Sorry. Got ahead. All right.
Mayor, out here, I would move approval of Resolution 109, 2021.
All right. Motion by Poggi. Second by, who said second? Second by Kudus. Discussion, please vote. Yeah, I know. It's like you're throwing your voices over there.
Speak up.
Now you got to vote, guys. Is there a vote out there?
Yep.
There you go. All right, that passes. Sorry about that. Okay, now, item 8.1, to establish a public hearing for the Fisher Property Planned Unit Development at 170th Street and Meredith Drive. Steve, answer any questions if there are.
Move to approve Council Letter 6685.
We have two items actually that have to take action, so
Okay.
if you could take them piecemeal.
Moved to receive the file and review of Fisher Property PUD report.
Okay, motion by Obrecht,
Second.
second by Carberry Montgomery. Discussion, please vote. That passes.
And then move Resolution 117-2021 to establish April 20th as a public hearing.
Motion by Obrecht,
Second.
second by Poggi. Discussion, please vote. That passes. Item 8.2 is to establish a public hearing for the City Hall HVAC upgrade. Kevin, will answer any questions if there are.
Move to approve Resolution 114-2021.
Motion by Obrecht. Second by Kudus. Discussion, please vote.
Just for a point of information, the reason that this is an item before the council tonight is because of the amount. That's why we have to set it down for a public hearing.
Yes, that's correct. And also, it's part of the CIP, if you'll recall. This is our second go-around. The first time, it was significantly over budget, and we decided not to move forward with it. We revised our budget estimate during the CIP, and so now we're bringing it forward for your consideration.
Okay.
I will admit, I'm a little disappointed that it doesn't kick on right now and drown all of us out so that we can't hear each other.
We could plan that to make this an easier vote, I think.
You need a motion?
We already did. There was a motion in a second.
Yeah,
We
it's
should
not-
have the vote pending.
It's not popping up on his.
Yeah, it's not.
Just tell her.
I would say A, I.
Apologize, not
There
sure.
it is. Okay.
Excellent.
Okay, thank you. That item passes. Item 8.3 is establish a public hearing for the 2021 sanitary sewer lining program.
I'll move resolution 110-2021.
Motion by Caduce,
Second.
second by Poggi. Discussion, please vote. That passes. All right, moving on to planning and zoning items. First is item 9.1, the Ramsey Mazda new building site plan at 9627 Hickman Road. And to introduce this is our Community Development Director, Steve Franklin. Steve?
Okay, gonna share the screen here. Okay, this is a request for Ramsey Mazda. It's been purchased by Lithia, and so they're making some improvements. And one of the main things that they want to do is separate the Mazda and the Subaru vehicles. So there's an existing building that's here today that kind of functions as their used car building. It's about 4,000 square feet. Here's the frontage road out here, so north is going to be to the right. And that existing building kind of sits right about in there. And what they're going to do is demolish that building and build this new building that you see here on the screen, about 11,000 square feet. And this will serve as a showroom for the Mazda vehicles and will also be the location where you would drop off your Mazda vehicle to get serviced over in the existing building that's immediately adjacent to the east, which is the building down here. So it really gets separate showroom facilities for Mazda and for Subaru. Planning and Zoning Commission recommends approval subject to items noted. Oh, let me show you the elevation here, sorry. So this is from the south elevation here at the top is what you would see from Hickman Road. The bottom half of the building does have some brick. It's black in color. And then this darker color that you see here is this black ACM, which is an aluminum composite material. And that's kind of that's a manufacturer mandated material that all of the Mazda dealerships are going to. So quite a bit of glass, obviously being a showroom, want to get the light in there to be able to see the vehicles. And then this is where you would pull your vehicles in. And again, they would take them over to the adjacent building to be serviced. So Planning and Zoning Commission recommends approval. Be happy to answer questions.
All right, thanks, Steve. Any questions from the council for Steve?
Steve, do you think they'll get started right away on it?
That is certainly what we're anticipating.
Great.
All right. Ask for a motion in a second.
Move approval of council letter 6686.
Motion by Poggi.
Second.
Second by Obrecht. Discussion, please vote. And that passes. Item 9.2 is the Hickman Commercial Plat 4 preliminary and final plats. Steve?
Okay, I am going to show you this item and the next item, which is the plat directly related to this because they're directly related to each other and they're action separately. But so for the site plan, this is what is proposed. This is the existing entrance off of 104th Street, which comes up and goes to the building that's currently there to the north. And so this would also then provide access to the new building. This is the new building that you see located here. Loading docks back to the back and then parking to the south and then out to the west of the building. It's a rectangular lot. And I can go down here to the final plat and show you that. This is the final plat, so it's just a rectangle with an access easement that brings that access in off 104th Street to be able to access the lot to the north and this lot. It is currently a spec building. They do not have a tenant at this point. I think this is a wise move. They do have a new tenant for the existing building to the north, which is really going to fill out that building. And so this is anticipation, I think, of that building being filled and being able to get this one going. Architecturally, it is going to be predominantly brick on the front, and then there is brick that wraps around both the north and the south sides and will look very much like the existing building to the north. So Planning and Zoning Commission recommends approval of both the site plan and the preliminary and final plat. Would be happy to answer questions.
Okay, thanks, Steve. Questions for Steve? Ask for a motion, second.
Move to approve Council Letter 6687.
Motion by Obrecht,
Second.
second by Caduce. Discussion, please vote. Might start saying Adam 1 and Adam 2. All right, that passes. Item 9.3 is the Hickman Commercial Phase 2 site plan at 2501 104th Street. Steve?
Nothing more to add unless you have questions.
Move to approve Council Letter 6688.
Motion by Obrecht,
Second.
second by Caduce. Discussion, please vote. That passes. All right, item 10, regular agenda items. Item 10.1 is the ordinance, second and third reading of the ordinance for the mobile food units. And Steve, do you have anything further to add?
Nothing to add. We were just hoping you would consider finalizing that ordinance. We are starting to get the request in, so we can go ahead and start issuing those permits. We did make the changes we discussed last time to extend it from 9 PM to 10 PM, and then we moved the distance from an existing restaurant back to 100 feet, so.
So, first item would be to suspend the rules.
I move that we suspend the rules requiring 3 readings of an ordinance for ordinance number 2021-08.
Okay, motion made by Carberry Montgomery.
Second.
Second. Russell, discussion, please vote.
Still no samples, Steve? They still bringing samples in?
I look for trucks in the parking lot.
I know, right?
Yeah, put one out here.
I'm just hoping to get added to some commercial property owners list that tells us what food truck is going to be there every day of the week, so.
That's right, we get you the calendar.
All right, that passes. And we have a second item.
I move that we waive the second and approve the third and final reading of ordinance 2021-08.
Okay, motion by Carberry Montgomery,
Second.
second by Russell. Discussion, please vote. That passes. All right. That is a good addition, and hopefully it'll be taken well advantage of. So thanks for the support on that. All right, item 10.2 is to consider the 2021 Series A general obligation bonds, and our finance director, Nikki Lamb, is on to answer any questions if there are.
Just want to say congrats on getting it bank qualified, so.
There are no questions or 2 items for consideration.
I'll move resolution 111-2021.
Okay, motion by Caduce.
Second.
Second by Obrecht. Discussion, please vote. That passes.
And I'll move resolution 112-2021.
Okay, motion by Caduce.
Second.
Second by Obrecht. Discussion, please vote. That passes. Okay, item 10.3 is consider the bids for the 2020 stormwater project. And again, turn it back over to John. John?
our bid tabulation for our 2020 stormwater project. It was on March 31st that we received 7 bids on this project. The low bid was from J&K Contracting, the amount of $45,125. That low bid was $14,000 or 24% less than our engineer's estimate. Sorry, didn't realize it was turned off there. Of $60,000. This project will include 150 feet of bank stabilization and 5 bendway weirs, and we're looking for it to be completed by November 24th. So just kind of show where we're at. Here's 156th Street. Here's Waterford. We just recently widened and added the second bridge here, so we're just upstream of the bridge. Then showing what we're doing. After we construct that second bridge, we started having one of the oxbows start to erode here on one of the outside bends. So with this, in order to protect the trail, we'll add riprap around this bend. And then these are the bendway weirs that basically help slow the water down and keep the water out in the channel so it does not erode back into the bank. We've used that just downstream of the culvert at 86th Street, and that worked fairly well a few years ago when we installed that. So we're doing a similar thing here. And with that, I'd be glad to answer any questions.
I have to ask what a bendway weir is.
And that's the little rock jetties that stick out.
Okay.
So they basically stick out so that, again, it slows it down, kind of builds up silt around them where it's slowed down and just keeps the erosion from working back into the bank. So they're just kind of rock fingers that stick out into the channel.
Learn something new every day. Thank you.
With your background, you'd know that.
Yeah, that's not the kind of urban planning I practiced.
So they're otherwise known as 5-year-old boy loving to throw rock spots.
They're not small rocks.
Okay.
All right. I'll ask for a motion and a second on this.
Move to approve Council Letter 6639.
Okay, motion by Obrecht,
Second.
second by Pogge. Discussion, please vote. Of course, I didn't know what it was either, but it's all right, thank you. That passes. Item 10.4 is consider the bids for the 2021 HMA Trail Program. And Kevin James, answer any questions if there are.
Move to approve Council Letter 6679.
Okay, motion by Obrecht. Second by Caduce. Discussion, please vote. Okay, that passes. Thank you. All right, well, we are through our regular agenda. We'll move on to mayor and council items. Ron, you're first up in the new lineup here.
Nothing further.
Okay, Bridget?
Well, I will make up for that. First, I wanted to thank staff for setting up the vaccine clinic. I just am very, very happy and proud that we're able to offer this to our staff and their significant others. I think, I hope everyone that can take advantage of it is taking advantage of it. Secondly, I wanted to say congratulations to the Waukee High School girls and boys basketball teams who won their state tournaments last month. There are quite a few folks from Urbandale on each team. On the boys team, Justin Johnson, Cade Kelderman, Blake Papenberg, Peyton Stanford, Price Stanford, and Connor Southout. On the girls team, Reagan Bartholomew, Natalie Gallagher, Lindsay Kelderman, Peyton Kelderman, Bailey Krall, and Cameron Weirs. This is especially significant because this is the last year that Waukee High School will be competing as Waukee High School. We will be opening a second high school that will serve the residents, students from Urbandale, Waukee Northwest, Go Wolves, Wolf Pack. It's a very angry, in my opinion, logo. So, several other things. Next Monday night at 6 p.m., the Urbandale Public Library and the Neighborhood Finance Corporation are having a virtual open house starting at 6 p.m. There's information on the city's social media, the library's social media, NFC social media. But I would really encourage you guys to join to learn about the NFC. They're going to have home buyers, they're going to have realtors, they're going to have financial counselors. We had a dry run yesterday, and I think it's going to be interesting, a little fun. They've got door prizes, and really excited, as you all know, to get NFC going in Urbandale. And then had our DART meeting today, a couple of items of note from there. They're extending their van donation deadline to the 12th. They're offering free rides to vaccine appointments. So if anyone needs transportation to get to their vaccine appointments, the DART is available to them. And then significantly for Urbandale, there is a virtual meeting on Thursday evening at 6 p.m. Regarding service optimization. We call it our transit optimization study. And they're going to be looking at, or this is open to Johnston, Grimes, and Urbandale to discuss service in those communities. There's options to take a survey online. If you look on DART's website and social media, there's options to take it in Spanish, and then there's several in-person / virtual options to give input on transportation needs going forward. And then last but not least, I sent out an invitation to the council this afternoon regarding the UCAN cleanup. I know Ron's going to be out of town visiting his grandkids, but the mayor said he'd be interested in putting together a council work crew. So if anybody else is interested, just let me know. Hopefully the weather will be nice. One of my favorite pictures of all times is my 7, 8, 9-year-old daughter and Ron out there raking in probably 2010, 2011. I think it'd be great for us to get out there and have some in-person team bonding. So just let me know and I can sign us up with Laura. So that is actually everything on my list. But I did make a list, so I was focused.
Adam?
Nothing for me, so that's enough.
Come on.
David, welcome back.
Yeah, it's certainly great to be back, and it's good to go, but it's always good to get back home to doing this. And yeah, put me down, Bridget. I think it's a good. We participated. Oh, it's been 2 or 3 years ago, but it's a good. So if that works out in our schedule, we're certainly going to be there as well. So that's about all. One more thing. This week, right, is the spring cleanup. So this is what I call the junk on the curb. Is that?
No.
No?
A couple weeks.
Okay, another week. Okay, so it's not the 12th. It's the 19th. Okay. Week of the 17th. Good. All right. So that's always a.
And we're not canceling it this year.
That's always a fun time. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like to sit on the front porch and just watch people come by, and 2/3 of the stuff that you threw out there is picked up and recycled and then come back next year on somebody else's curb. So that's all.
All right. Adam?
Bridget, let me know. I'm all in for the cleanup day. Actually, I think I did the cleanup day about 15 years ago. So a long time ago, but I'd be happy to brush off some of my yard raking skills.
Well, I have no skills really to offer, as Ron and I discussed, but I'll give it a shot. So, no.
I might even be able to break out some of the Caduce and Caduce Lawn Care gear.
Oh my goodness.
That's appropriate.
Be on your team. I forgot about that part of your history.
So let me know. I'm not a bad guy to have on your crew.
Do you still have a trailer that you can pull up and?
15 years ago, you should have seen the lady freaked out when we showed up because we had lawn mowers and leaf vacs, and they gave us, I think, the worst yard because they needed to be well equipped. I don't have that stuff anymore, but I'll bring a work ethic.
All right, thanks, Adam. I just have a couple things. Speaking of events, there's another good event coming up next Friday night through the Parks and Rec Department. That's drive-in movie right out here in the parking lot. And I think you can sign up through Parks and Rec. I've signed up and there's limited spaces available. You need to sign up and get your,
We have softball, or I was talking with Shannon Salmon, who's sponsoring it. She gave me a heads up, and then I looked at our softball schedule.
but
So, yes, I was very disappointed to miss the one in the fall, but I think that's a fantastic community event and, something we can consider keep doing, even when we're past having to be in our own cars.
it's one of my favorite movies too, of Sandlot. So, I mean, you're killing me, Smalls. It's Sandlot.
Good. I suggested that heavily.
Yes.
They had and it was, I said, but it's springtime and it's baseball.
Yeah.
And it's a fun movie and you gotta have this or none of you can come
Oh,
to work.
that's, I signed up on the spot when I saw it was Sandlot because, anyway, so there's that. I do want to talk about something that hopefully we can all, as elected officials, get out in front of and help. Again, the assessments are out this year for property tax assessments. I'm sure, you're hearing, it's certainly been on the news a lot, and you're probably hearing from residents on this. I think it's just a matter of, we need to be out front on education on this and just, encouraging folks to take a deep breath on this, that yes, assessments are generally going up, but that does not necessarily mean your taxes are not going to be going up by the same percentage. And this does not affect any taxes that are even going to be paid until next year. So the assessments kick in, and then that will be taken into account for our budget for next year and the taxes that accrue and are paid the fall of 21 and spring of 22, right? This is the way I calculated. So. Again, so I just think we just need to be leaders in educating folks about that, is that it does not necessarily mean that even though you have a higher assessment that your taxes are going to go up. And that also, we take our role seriously as setting our budget, but it's certainly part of our budget. But we're certainly not the only taxing entity that uses property taxes either. So there's a lot of components to it. And I think we have a good story to tell. We're being prudent financially, but encourage folks to look at it, and it's just a matter of look at the value, and if it's a fair value for your home, then that's what it should be. And if you think you could sell your house for more than that, or at least that value, then it's probably a fair assessment. So again, when you talk to folks, just get that education out there so they understand what's going on. That's all I had, so I'll ask for a motion and a second to adjourn.
So moved.
Is there a second? All in favor? Aye. All right, we are adjourned. Thank you, everybody.
Hey, Bob, did you hear where Brandy went? Police officer Brandy? Was that expected?
Do you want to catch AJ for a sec on that?